Welcome back to the show. This is your host, David Yanez. And before we went to break, I was telling you really briefly, that I was believing to help someone. I had to use faith. It took time for my faith to develop where it's at. It took time. And so this situation required me to trust God to bring in several $100s to help someone the next day. Now, I've already sent the money to pay for the operation. They're at the hospital. They're trying to get a hold of me. And they're asking how should they go on with the surgery because they have no more money. And I'm tapped out. What I raised and put together and sent over was all that I could put in without hitting my main budget. I'm sure that you understand that. And I said, I have payroll, I have everything else. I don't know what I can give personally. We're pretty set where that money's coming in. It's going to go somewhere already. So I didn't know what to do when they were asking me that they needed another additional amount to go into surgery. They asked, well, what do we do? What do we do? They're in the bed waiting for an answer from me. And I just wasn't going to worry about it. Wasn't going to wonder what I didn't have. Wasn't going to wonder when I'm going to get something. But I said, okay, just get it done. After talking with them and they talked to the doctor, I said, if I gave you 90% of what you needed, I can get you the rest of it. And they said, we need it by the afternoon before they discharge. I was like, fine. Not knowing where that was going to come from. Not knowing. So I prayed. And our prayer, I think it was Oral Roberts that used to say, you pray, you make your request known to God, you pray, you let the people know, and you just wait. And you keep praying. And you keep believing. Now, the words I always hear every time I think of that is, pray without ceasing. Jesus said that. Pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. Trust in God. Just trust in Him. Believe that there's something going to happen. Believe that something's going to change. Believe that God will do something for you. That He will intervene because it's important to you. It's important to God. I've preached that sermon before many times. It's important to God if it's important to you. And you just got to trust Him. You just got to believe. You just got to say, God, I know that you can handle this. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, I had two dilemmas. One, the money needed to be there on time the next day. Second dilemma, I had to find the money. And then I had to make sure I didn't run into my payroll and everything else. So I just let them go to operation. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. God will take care of this. I will believe with the Lord. We'll figure this out. Do you know, I let several churches know, my friends, very close friends of mine that I feel comfortable I've never asked them for one thing outside of when I go preach. And I said, well, I feel led to just let them know. And I let them know, first started off with, hey, how y'all doing? Can I give you a missions need? I have a missions need. It's something I can approach you with. And they just be honest. And that's what I put. 5 out of 5 of the people that I sent that to responded. 5 out of 6 responded. And hey, I don't take any offense if they don't respond. I just keep going forward. None of them said that they could help me immediately. This is something I need to give you, and it's something that you have to, I'm writing it down. I was told many years ago that faith takes time to produce. So that's why you don't want to be living at the bottom of your faith. Amen. You want to be living at the top of your faith. You don't want to be scraping in there, sparks flying, saying, I need something to keep me afloat. You want to have something to keep you afloat, and you want to build on top of that. You want to live within your means. You want to hold on to things that God has sent to you and not the things that you dragged into your life. So when I talk about things like this, it hurts, but it's true. It hurts, but it's very true. You got to hold on to what God's given you and not hold on to what you dragged into your life. And I'm talking about those high car payments, those unnecessary eating out, that unnecessary vacations. Get your bills paid, get your credit paid off. You see yourself growing. God has great things for you, but we have to be responsible. So I went ahead and I just believed. I didn't talk to anyone the next day. In the morning or in the afternoon, just before noon, about noon, someone called for prayer. I prayed for them. As an emergency, I prayed and prayed for them. And we prayed till we felt that it was released. And then I mentioned to them to go in and keep us in prayer because we're believing for something. And they go, well, we want to know what it is. The person was so grateful. They wanted to know what was the ministry believing for. I told them the story, and they said, is that it? I said, yeah. And they go, give me till tomorrow or the next day. I'll have that for you. Well, that was something. Faith started to move. Remember, I tell you, faith takes time to produce itself. So I'm sure my friends were going to help me from the churches, but it takes time for something to happen. And this person out of the blue calls, tells me I'll take care of it. Well, I was happy because I said, well, maybe I can use some of the money I have put aside for something else to help these people out. And I prayed about it, and I was still holding off. I went to go pick up my son from work. I was coming back home, and when I was coming back, I was picking him up at work right before I picked him up. That person called me back and said, go ahead and take it now out of my credit card. And I told them when I get home, I'll take care of it. And they said, God told me to give it to you immediately. I received the money into my account and immediately transferred it over to my friend's account in Mexico. They had to pay for the surgery. And so when they came when they're in recovery, coming out of recovery, the money was in their bank. They were able to pay the doctor. Now get this. There's more, as they say. There's more. Those church friends, pastor friends, 2 of them contacted me back and said, we're still going to help you. We just have to get some time to get this done. And one said, I'm working on it right now. And the other one said, on Friday, I will have you a check. So I'm going to be able to recover some of the investment that we put into helping this person get a surgery. That's going to be wonderful because we had to move things from other parts of the ministry and hold off on doing things because we weren't trying to help someone that was literally dying in Mexico. God did a wonderful thing. I don't share of a lot of things that I do privately to help people because I just believe it's between them and God and me. But I'm willing to share this one to you to encourage you that God has something planned for you. You just have to believe. Hey, don't go away. We got another great